What's going on, everybody? Today we are going to be going over my predictions for Season 3 of Rocket League Sideswipe. We're going to be breaking it down by what is confirmed to be added to the game and what I want to be added to the game. So if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure you like and subscribe, and let's get into it. First off, we're going to be talking about what I know is coming for Rocket League Sideswipe. So the first thing, and most people have already seen this, but we have been confirmed 3v3 in Season 3. If you didn't see the last video on their Twitter account, which is official, by the way, they posted a little recording of there being 3 cars against 3 cars, and it was in-game footage. So if you haven't checked that out, go watch my last video. But we are getting a brand new threes game mode. The next thing that we know of is a brand new Rocket Pass alongside a brand new item shop. As of recording this, in 2 days, there will be a new item shop completely and a brand new Rocket Pass. Now, I'm going to go over some speculation as to what items could be in there later on in this video, but as of right now, we don't have any confirmed items or necessarily any other cosmetics for Rocket League Sideswipe in Season 3. One thing that we could pretty much assume to be added would be Season 2 rewards. So for Season 1, we got the stickers, as you guys probably already saw. But for Season 2, I am making the prediction that it's going to be banners or a goal explosion. Now, I don't have necessarily any reason to believe one or the other. I just think those are the two most prevalent showcases of someone's style, I guess you could say, or what's seen the most in-game, because there is the cutscene for the goal explosion, and there's the cutscene that shows the banner after you score. So I think those two are the most logical. So like something right here that has like a silver, gold, GC, little shine to it could definitely be something that could be added for Season 3, showcasing Season 2 rank. Okay, next we're going to go over some speculation on what items can be added. This isn't guaranteed, but these are all items we've seen in footage and in the files for Sideswipe. So what I mean by this is in the last video where they showcased the 3v3, we saw Dracos and we saw a Royal Crown Topper. So if you were hoping those would be added in Season 3, I would be willing to put my money on Dracos being in this next Rocket Pass. So Dracos, Royal Crown, if you guys remember, painted dueling dragons were showcased at the end of Season 2 or Season 1, I believe, where we saw painted sky blue and painted orange dueling dragons. So as I was saying about painted dueling dragons, for this last season, we got painted Hellfire and painted Sub-Zero. So that leads me to believe that this item shop coming up next is going to have either painted 20XX or painted dueling dragons. I know this is complete speculation, but if we just look at the pattern of what Sideswipe has been doing, we saw a pretty lackluster shop with the orange Type S and the burnt sienna and sky blue supernova. So I'd be willing to bet that they amp it up for Season 3, and dueling dragons will begin to be painted in the item shop. For the Rocket Pass, whatever is inside of there, I don't think it will be added to the shop at the same time. So, for example, if we get the Fennec in the Rocket Pass, I do not think they're going to add a, let's say, a white Fennec into the item shop. Like they did for Season 2, they're going to release it very slowly. So I'd be willing to bet that this item shop is going to still have Season 2 items, which might disappoint some people. But honestly, if we got painted dueling dragons or painted 20XX, I'd be very happy. The next thing that I think is pretty much guaranteed is painted shurikens. And what I mean by that is if you have opened up any presents, you probably know that if you get a painted shuriken, it does not look painted. So basically, in preseason, they had a similar glitch with the Shiza that were painted, and they revamped it when Season 1 dropped. So I think they will do something similar with the shurikens. There's also speculation that Kanas will come painted when this new season drops. It's not for me to say whether that's true or not, but as of right now, I think we could safely say that the shurikens will have some sort of variation when this update comes out. The next thing that we have seen in footage of the Sideswipe trailers is painted photons. So they also released a screenshot of a forest green octane alongside forest green photons. So that could hint at painted octanes coming to Season 3. We obviously got the titanium white one early in Season 1. So it is very possible that for Season 3, they want to bring back the hype. So we could see a forest green, and we also saw a crimson one back for the preview of Season 2. Going alongside that, we saw a Sentio in the trailer for Season 2. So these are all items that haven't been released yet in the item shop that I definitely think could be coming when Season 3 drops. So those are all the items that we have basically seen in the game. Obviously, we know of what ones are in the game files, so we're going to go over that later. But now I want to talk about what I want to be added to Sideswipe. These are all stuff that is basically confirmed to be in the files and what could basically be a great addition. But we're going to be talking about what I think would be beneficial to the Sideswipe community and what is pretty much necessary to keep this game alive and functioning. So the first thing, and this is on a lot of people's minds, at least if you're like further invested into the community, it would be spectating. Now, I don't know why there's not spectating to begin with, but spectating is a necessary addition for any sort of competitive aspect of this game, for any content aspect to be added. Like, for someone to make a Sideswipe video, it's so annoying to either have to be in the private match or have someone share it to Discord. So from a content perspective, we really need spectating. Going off that, private matches could have mutators and joining by a code. If they have mutators, it would give variation to gameplay and not everything would feel as dull as just hitting a ball back and forth. And I think it could add a lot of growth to the Sideswipe scene, because people would have to interact to therefore be able to use these mutators and play with other people. And then the joining by code is just something that's very necessary if you want to make the joining and inviting system easier, because I don't know about you guys, but sometimes I can't invite half of my friends list, half the time it doesn't work, and half the time I can't accept friend requests. So if they had a code joining system, it would make things way easier. This next topic is one that should be self-explanatory, but I'm gonna go over it anyway. We need a brand new mystery item. We've had the same mystery item for 4 months now. It was actually in alpha, so I guess you could say since release, we've had the same mystery item. Now, there are so many items that they could be adding to this game. There's so many different options that they could choose from, but Sideswipe has decided to pretty much keep with the atomizer werewolf combo that no one even uses. I would say most people use the dueling dragons and the octane, so no one's even using the mystery items anyway. The only one that people may still be trying to get are painted flamethrowers, but that's literally it. So a brand new mystery item is necessary. The next thing I think needs to be added, and we haven't seen any indication of them doing this, is a faster shop rotation. If the shop doesn't rotate faster, there's no interest for people to play throughout the week. If they did daily shops so people had a reason to grind the game, it would make the player base so much bigger, and it would make the community so much stronger because you would have all these new people coming in. But as of right now, we had an orange Type S for a month. We had a sky blue Hellfire for like 2 weeks or something. It was like unnecessarily long for how long these shop rotations are. What was promising was the April Fool's and St. Patrick's Day shops, because they did have themes and they were showing that they could release updates somewhat fast. Now, was it anything crazy? Absolutely not, but it's just showing that they could be releasing stuff, but they just aren't. So that is something promising that maybe we see more of. Maybe we see more events, maybe see more holidays. We did see something for Valentine's Day as well, so maybe in the future they start to do more consistent updates to the shop. Okay, now that we've talked about faster shop rotations, let's talk about tournaments. I'm not just talking about tournaments as in like ones that are outside of the UI. I'm talking about stuff like Rocket League has. If there was a tournament credit system or some way to earn rewards for competing and trying to be better at this game, it would be much more rewarding than trying to be on the leaderboard. Because for those that try to grind and push on the leaderboard, it does not feel satisfying whatsoever. Which leads me into my next topic. I think the MMR system needs revamping. And what I mean by that is if you RGC and you win a game, you gain like 2, 3, maybe 10 MMR. But if you lose, especially to someone that's either smurfing or just lower than you, you drop like 20. So what happens is you have these people that are allegedly boosting themselves and making it so that the MMR is impossible to reach because it is so hard to have that perfect record of just winning all the time. I don't think there's anyone that is high level in this game that loves the MMR system, so I think if they added some sort of variation or revamping just to test for the season, it would be so much better. So much better. Okay, the next thing I want to talk about is microtransactions. A lot of people have been saying microtransactions would be bad for Sideswipe. They don't want to have to pay for stuff. Like, that's all complete BS. Microtransactions would give Sideswipe and Psyonix a reason to put content out for this game. As of right now, there's no major income for the Sideswipe team to be like constantly updating, because as of right now, they basically made the game and they've just let it run its course. If there's microtransactions, that would lead to more money for them, which would lead to more updates for us. Now, they could do stuff like buying tiers of the Rocket Pass, buying SP, and they could even go as far as adding creator codes. So more creators come out of just this small niche that is Rocket League Sideswipe. In terms of items that I think that I want in the game, I think it's pretty self-evident that everyone wants a Fennec. A Fennec would be good. I would like an Endo, which is basically a Lamborghini for those that have not played Rocket League. And then the Mantis. The Mantis is essentially a big flat body, sort of like the Werewolf, but it's more square-shaped. So I think it could be better looking and better feeling than what we have with the Diastro and the Werewolf. In terms of decals, I really want to see painted Kanas, and I want to see a brand new black market. I think the most logical one is going to be a Heat Wave. For those that are OG in normal Rocket League, Heat Wave was one of the first, like, most sought after items in the trading community. and I think it is probably the second most iconic after 20XX. You might say Heatwave's more iconic, but stuff like Heatwave, Biomass, even stuff like Tora could be added. I don't think they're that complicated. I would just think that they would add more OG stuff before we get into more of the newer decals that have been added more recently. Okay, so next up for decals, I want to talk about painted Kanas. There's speculation, since in normal Rocket League there are painted Kanas, that there is talk of the universal Kana decal in this game getting a painted variation. And I could see that being added to maybe the item shop, or even late in Season 2. So if you guys remember, the light bulb and the oscilloscopes had painted versions, but they didn't release until the very last hour of Season 1 being active. So that could be something that happens in the end of Season 2, where we see stuff like painted Kanas being rolled out because they didn't initially have it out for Season 2. A lot of people have also been saying that the sunset wheels could also come painted. I think those would be super nice in titanium white or black. So maybe we see those here at the end of the season. But for those that don't know, I'm doing a 50v50 crate battle at the end of this season on Wednesday. So if you're seeing this video and you're watching it literally as the update is about to drop, I am basically live on Twitch, and you can come check out my stream and see what's going on in terms of the items that might have not been released for Season 2, but are now out since the update was rolled out. Okay, next we're going to talk about Reaper Goal Explosion. The Reaper Goal Explosion is one of the most iconic Halloween items in normal Rocket League, and as you guys probably saw in my prior videos, it's in the files, and we saw bots using it early on in Season 1. So I think the Reaper Goal Explosion is one of the most sought after items that we haven't gotten yet in terms of goal explosions, and I would also like to see the Poof Goal Explosion. Those two are very, very hype. In terms of wheels, I think the 2 or 3 most common ones for this game would be Zombas, Dicey's, and Cristianos. I think if they add those 3 this season, that would be solid. We really don't need too much else in terms of wheels. I think we have a lot going for us, especially if we get the Dracos that were teased in the 3s game mode. But you never know. Never know. Okay, we're going to talk about painted boosts. I think the most sought after ones that are not in the game yet are Sparkles and then Painted Standards. I think Painted Standards are more likely than Sparkles to be added. Sparkles definitely has a lot of particles and a lot of different maybe design issues you would have with a mobile game. But Standards, I feel like, are coming sooner or later. And that's something that we could probably see in a mystery item. If there was Painted Standards or Painted Octanes in this new mystery item, I would be super happy, and we would grind all day for those. In terms of other items, those are my biggest ones. But in the file, we do see that they mention the addition of trails and antennas. So I don't know if it's confirmed for Season 3, but I would just be on the lookout for maybe like a laser wave trail or like a rubber ducky antenna or something along those lines. But that is going to be the end of items for this game. I think if we got any of the items mentioned in this video, I think I would be super hyped, because not gonna lie, I was kind of disappointed in what they added for Season 2. I think the cars were a letdown, especially with the Aftershock. I think the only redeeming factors about this season was the casual was Dueling Dragons and 20XX. Everything else was pretty much a letdown. But yeah, let's go on to what we know about maps coming out. So on screen right now is a screenshot of KO, who sent me the whole file of Rocket League Sideswipe. He got another screenshot of it talking about a jungle map. If you remember in the last video, it shows the jungle map being in the code, but now it is showcased in the description of the folder. So there's a designated folder for a jungle map, and we could definitely expect to see not only a jungle map, but maybe some different backgrounds when we're playing on like the 2v2 map or even like short stack or something. So that is very, very exciting. Up next is going to be talking about different game modes. We already talked about threes, but honestly, it wouldn't surprise me if there was some hints at Heat Seeker, Rumble, Snow Day, or Boomer. However they go about that, I think those are the most common amongst normal Rocket League. So if we were to see any game modes, I think those would be the contenders. Going off of that, I think the most obvious request from most people is for trading to be added. Although I don't see a world where trading is added this update. If we do get microtransactions, it's definitely a possibility. But I would not put my money on trading being added. The next thing I want to talk about is Twitch drops. Now, Rocket League themselves haven't really done an official Sideswipe stream, but we've seen like third-party one-offs that are affiliated with Rocket League, like Rivals and Rocket Baguette. See some pretty decent numbers with their tournaments. And we also saw in the code, it mentioned Twitch and the word drops a lot, especially when talking about items. So maybe in the future here, we could anticipate getting something affiliated with Twitch, and maybe we get some drops going for the game. The next thing I want to talk about is saving replays. Now, I don't know how it all works for normal Rocket League, but saving replays allows people that don't necessarily record all the time to hit clips and post their content on maybe Twitter or YouTube or clip compilations, whatever it may be. And I think a lot of people don't post content for this game because they're not recording while they're playing. Although I do not want them to add replays of shots. I think if you were to add replays of shots, they would make it so that the games were like 5 to 10 minutes long and people wouldn't skip their replays. So I think just being the amount of people that want to show off their skill but aren't necessarily able to, I think if you were to save a game, that would be much better than just a replay feature. The next thing that I don't know we'll see, but could be helpful for those struggling, would be training packs. So that could be anything from like custom training, like rings, or like maybe just flying around with different like time trials or something like that. Or it could even be as simple as having the ball spawn in a certain position, or having the ball be shot at you in a certain way so that you can practice for saves or something along those lines. I think a lot of people struggle with stalling. So if there was a way that Psyonix made it so you could pick custom pinpoints to where the ball spawns in, or literally just a way to make different challenges for yourself. Because honestly, sitting in training for a 10-minute queue to find a game is not the most fun thing. That's the next thing I want to talk about, is I want to be able to join a private match while I'm looking for a game. Now, I know that might bring more hassle to connectivity issues, and maybe people don't find and get connected as fast, but sitting in a lobby or just in training while finding a game is really, really boring. And I can only imagine for international players how bad it gets. So even from the US, the queue times are horrendous when you get above, I would say, champ or diamond even. But yeah, that's pretty much everything I had to say. I asked my Discord what they wanted to be added, and the obvious ones were obviously the Fennec, we're trading in 3s. But now that we got 3s, I think most people are wanting the Fennec. I think most people are wanting spectating. And if trading comes out by a blessing from God, I think we could see a lot of new content being created for this game, and we see a big transition from just casual players to people that are actually grinding this game to get better inventories and stuff like that. In conclusion, here are my biggest asks. I want spectating, number 1. I want a new mystery item, number 2. I want faster shop rotation, number 3. I want a not terrible rocket pass. For the last and final thing, I want you to subscribe. No, I'm just kidding. I want transparency from the developers to the players as to what is to come for this game. We're left in the dark. The Twitter page has been doing okay recently by leaking the 3v3 game mode to bring back some of the hype, but we need transparency. If you're watching this, Psionics, reach out to me. I'd be willing to interview you guys. I would be willing to put out content that displays what could be coming and what is possible for the Sideswipe platform and what people can expect. There was nothing being given to Sideswipe players. We saw a absolute low in viewership. We saw an absolute low in player base. And if they want this community to keep growing, they would give us more information. If you guys are excited about Season 3 as much as I am, definitely come check me out on Twitch, where we're going to be doing viewer games, where I play with you guys, the viewers, and we're going to be trying this 3v3 game mode when it drops live, alongside of getting my first impressions of everything new to come for Season 3. If you have any thoughts on what I had to say, leave them down in the comments, and as always, I will see you guys later. Goodbye.